Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm answering some questions from my community on Instagram. So if you submitted a question, thank you so much, and I'm going to answer as many as I can. I thought this was a really marvelous question, so thank you, Nina. The main thing that I do is keep my circle very tight and very small, and I myself every day try to start my day by thinking about all the things that I am grateful for, the things that are working out, and I do my best not to focus on the things I can't control, because I find that makes me incredibly unhappy, and I do my best to focus on what is working. Thank you, Robin, for this extremely thoughtful question. I think it's given a more complete sense of purpose to my performance platform.
It's hard to remember. Okay, the first aria that I ever brought to my teacher, and he laughed at me, was Mon cœur s'ouvre à ta voix. Sorry that I pronounced it so badly. My heart opens at your voice, from Samson and Delilah. And I was 14, and he was like, what? And so he insisted that I get a copy of I think it's like the 14 Italian songs and arias, the yellow book that everybody has to get. Then we promptly learned Caro mio ben, and then started with the arias of Caro meno, because I always had a darker voice, and we weren't sure yet if I was like a soprano or a mezzo. So that was the first stuff I learned as a student. Then as a professional singer, there's a whole big thing that happened in between when I finished school and I became a professional singer. So basically everything I had done in school was sort of not useful for me anymore, and I'll share that story for those of you who don't know it another time. But I had to find anything that I could sort of comfortably sing. So at that point, I would bring Susanna's aria, Devieni non tardar, for my Mozart, and I sang that an awful lot. And I also sang Marguerite's Jewel song from Faust. And if I remember, that's kind of what I sang for a long time. And the first role I ever sang was Fior di Ligi from Così fan tutte. And so as soon as I had started singing that on stage, I used to bring that to auditions all the time, because I had the feeling memorized of what it was like to sing that on stage. And I always felt very confident in those arias. It's a great question. In my case, I started studying music when I was 5, and when I was 18 months old, I was already obsessed with singing. I thought I first wanted to be an actor, and I played the flute for 10 years, and so it was sort of a natural progression. I never really thought about doing anything else, apart from when I built Living Opera during the pandemic, but that's still sort of opera adjacent, I would say. So never had a backup plan. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
You are so sweet. Thank you so much. And what a joy it was to meet you earlier this season. Look, for me, this is a daily choice to get up and be what I want to see in the world. And I have bad days just like anybody else. But I am such a blessed person, and I view it as my obligation to spread that kind of joy in the world. And on days where I don't feel joyful, I try to gain a fresh perspective and try again tomorrow.
Okay, if I wasn't a singer, I love traveling and I love helping people. So I think that I would maybe do well as a diplomat. I don't know, although government stuff can be pretty terrible. I wanted to be an actor, but that's still sort of the same vein, I guess. And I really, really love fashion and aesthetics, so maybe something with interior design or fashion design. I'm very, very bad at drawing, however, but if we're just like playing hypothetical fantasy land and I was good at all of that, I think that I would love to create things that look amazing and make people feel amazing. And this is like super out of left field probably, but I'm really fascinated by the world of finance and how you create economies. But literally I have no idea about that world, but I just think it's fascinating how people like agree on this is what we're calling money and it has a value, and I that conversation. So I guess, is that 3 things, 4 things? I don't know. So yeah, but didn't do any of those things. I'm doing this thing.
Well, thankfully, I haven't had to put up with too much of this. I usually just try to stay calm. Unless the person becomes abusive, then I'm like, no, and I stand up for myself. But if it's just like a matter of disagreement or personality, I try to always remember that that person is also a person and that we're trying to achieve something which is great art, hopefully. I want to thank everybody who submitted a question on Instagram. If I didn't get to yours this time, don't worry, we will do this again. I really enjoyed making this, and thanks so much for being here. Bye.